Welcome, my name is Andrea Brown. This is Thrival Now, a new YouTube channel where I'm committed to helping you go from survival to thrival in your health, wealth, and relationships. How do you see yourself? How do you encourage yourself when things are difficult? How do you pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and regroup when you're facing difficulty? I want to share today one way lately that I have been encouraging myself. A story I've been telling myself to encourage me when I feel like the odds are against me and that I'm late to the game, that I'm not ready or equipped or going to be able to compete in a certain sphere. And that story is the story of Rich Strike. If you watched the Kentucky Derby last year, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, buckle your seatbelts. I want to share a really amazing and inspiring story. So first off, I think I'd like to just play the official footage from the race. I will tell you at the outside, this story is of a horse who won the Kentucky Derby. He had the greatest odds against him and had the second longest odds of winning the Derby in all of the Derby's history, which is, I think, about 150 years. So here is the actual video footage you would have seen if you watched it live.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby. And Summer is Tomorrow had a great start and goes immediately to the early lead. Messier is away running with speed. Crown Pride to the outside. Epicenter is going to be taken back a bit. Down toward the inside as Tapa goes up outside of Chargent. And farther out and close to the pace is Cyberknife. Then comes on the outside Zozos as they race by us for the first time. It will be Summer is Tomorrow to lead the way. Crown Pride on the outside second. Messier follows in third. Zozos fourth. Cyberknife is fifth to the outside, and then it's Tapa, Chargent behind them. Epicenter finds himself in mid-pack here. Pioneer, Medina, Smile Happy next, and then Zandon to the inside and wide of Mario. Last at Causeway is after that. They're followed by Tawny Port. As they head to the backstretch, Simplification is next, then comes Tiz the Bomb, Rich Strike, Modonigal to the inside, and then the two trailers up the backstretch are Barber Road and Happy Jack. That opening half mile was, whoa, blazing fast. 45.36 seconds for Summer is Tomorrow, who heads up the backstretch in front with Japan's Crown Pride right alongside, and Messier goes up in between those two. The pace continues to be hot. Zozos is next after 3/4 in 1 minute 10 and 4/5 seconds, and now Epicenter comes splitting horses and is moving up quickly as Crown Pride takes the lead around the far turn. It is Crown Pride battling with Messier. They're stride for stride. Epicenter and Zozos in behind them. Cyberknife swings up on the outside. Zandon gets the rail run, and they're into the stretch. And it's Messier, Crown Pride, and Epicenter is coming up on the outside. Epicenter has taken the lead as they arrive into the final furlong. Zandon is coming after him. Epicenter and Zandon, these two, stride for stride. Simplification down the outside is next. They're coming down to the wire. Epicenter, Zandon, Rich Strike is coming up on the inside. Oh my goodness, the longest shot has won the Kentucky Derby. Rich Strike has done it in a stunning, unbelievable upset.
Oh my God, I get chills watching that video. It's amazing. Now, I want you to watch the same race, and somebody redid it brilliantly with a marker to show you which horse is Rich Strike and which was the horse that was predicted to win. And you can watch how Rich Strike makes his move. So again, you only pick this up almost halfway around the track. The horse is still at the back of the pack and wasn't even in the field of the drone's view. So take a watch now and watch how this horse moves, how the jockey moves him to the front of the pack and to win.
Time now for our White Claw race replay. What do you guys see as we look back?
Well, first of all, he did a fantastic job, Sonny Leone, getting from the 21 post down into the inside going into the first turn. And now this is going into the far turn. He had moved around one horse. He's in the two path right now. And he's going to move around one more horse that doesn't seem to be running very fast. And he's moving. So Sonny Leone guides in between horses. And now he really starts to accelerate and he'll move back in. As he approaches the middle of the turn, watch him move back to the inside rail. That was a really big move right there, because then the table is set for him to just run up the rail as the other front runners tire.
Epicenters 2.5 lengths in front there. He was further back than usual early, but he handled it beautifully, stormed to the lead. Zandon had a dream trip along the rail for most of the race. He swung out perfectly. It was the battle between the two horses we thought were the best. And out of the clouds, a lightning strike.
From Rich Strike. I think all of us were focused on that battle. Here are the two terrific horses battling here down the stretch, and just look at the move.
Yeah, he actually had just a tiny bit of anxiousness there. He had to steer around Messier, who was stopping directly in his path. Horse didn't mind.
Look, Jerry and I have been doing this a long time, right?
80 combined derbies for you two.
We had to look up how to pronounce Sonny Leon with you. We talk to trainers all the time. I don't believe we've ever spoken to Eric Reed. It's possible, but he did a fantastic job.
He rode him like he's won 3 derbies already.
That was our White Claw race replay.
Again, I get chills watching this video. I love it. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about this horse before I tell you maybe why he has come to inspire me. Here is a few facts about Rich Strike. He won a purse of $1.86 million. This was written by Jody Mashuk on Facebook. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but I love this kind of mashup description. Last year, a 2-year-old colt finished dead last in his first race. Disappointed, his owners placed him in a claiming race where anyone could take ownership for a fee. An older man purchased the colt after missing the chance to claim another horse he wanted. He said it was his last attempt to find some success in the racing industry. The colt won by 17 lengths and his new owner was encouraged. But in the races that followed, he finished 3rd twice, 4th once, and 5th once. His owner, however, still believed in him. 2022 was the colt's only chance to race in major thoroughbred races, which are limited to 3-year-olds. The day before the Kentucky Derby, the field of horses was already full, but then at the last moment, a famous trainer scratched and withdrew his horse. The colt took that place in a field of 20 horses just 30 seconds before the entry deadline. Suddenly, he was in the game and he had a chance. All the metrics and predictions were against him. Neither his owner, his trainer, nor his jockey had ever been associated with any horse in the Kentucky Derby. His jockey had never even won a major event. They were decidedly outsiders and newbies in an extremely elite arena. On the morning of the race, his odds of winning were set 80-1, second longest in the Derby's history. Halfway around the track, the colt was 16 horses back from the lead. He couldn't even be seen in the field of view of the drone camera flying above the race. He was a nobody, a throwaway, an inconsequential participant. But then he made his move. This video, this is what I replay in my mind. In those moments when I think that I have missed my opportunity, that I'm late to the game, that I'm an outsider, that I'm an inconsequential participant, that I'm a nobody, that who am I to compete against others so much better than me, whether it's in business or any other sphere. This is the story that I replay, and I can't tell you how many times I've already watched it, not only in my mind, but I've literally taken out and pulled it up on YouTube, and I've watched this video because it inspires me, it reinvigorates me, it helps me focus. What am I doing? What am I here for? What am I called to do? What am I made for? What's my race? I want to run my race. Not anybody else's, but I want to run my race. And so this is something that has just this past year given me an incredible amount of fuel when I feel that I'm discouraged or facing really long odds. And I give this to you, I share it with you, and I hope that this will encourage you today. If you were encouraged today, please share this video with a friend and share that encouragement in the comments below. Your support means a great deal to me.